So I was scrolling on Twitter, procrastinating as usual, and I came across this tweet from the homie Fallout Plays, but I came across, came across a quote tweet that really kind of got some wheels turning in my head, and I want to share it with you all, okay? So the primary tweet was from the homie Fallout. If you don't know who Fallout Plays is, I think one, you're under a rock, and two, you should go check him out because he's one of the coolest slash funniest content creators, came from Destiny. Anyways, Fallout says, incredibly curious, would like to hear your thoughts. From my own personal experience playing Marathon, close to 400 hours at this point, I feel that the vast majority of the time, the best loot that I manage to extract with almost always comes from the bodies of enemy players that me/my team kills, and not necessarily from the map itself. Is this your experience as well, or is it different? Interested to hear perspectives outside of my own. So I found I found this quote tweet here from Viva La Doctor. Now, I have no idea who this individual is. I've never met this individual, but shout out to them because I thought this was well thought out and I thought this was pretty good. And I kind of skimmed through it, so I will be like fully reading it for the first time with you all right? So Viva La Doctor says, yep, this is how it was designed. As stated in the first Vidoc by Ziegler, the players are meant to be the best loot box. This design unfortunately doesn't promote a ton of looting around the map or wanting to interact with the objectives until after you have cleared the map. PvP is great, but it shouldn't discourage interacting with the zones in a meaningful way. It feels bad that you are able to / encouraged to clear the map before trying to do any objectives or to complete quests. And this is facts. I don't know if you all play this way, but me and the homies, whenever we are on Outpost, we always think, get rid of the 3 teams, and then we get into the pinwheel. We can, open up master key room, keep a lookout for rooks, and then we can get into command wing, get up out of there. That's how we always approach it, bar none. So Viva La Doctor is spitting straight facts here. Continuing on, if I'm remembering correctly, in the first Vidoc, the devs said something along the lines of, the zones are essentially the main character. They are who you will be interacting with the most while you are exploring the world of Tau Ceti 4. At the lower levels, I believe the exploration and looting holds up, but at the higher levels, the game loses a lot of this and becomes a BR with extraction steps. Looting and interacting with the map should always get you the best loot. Currently, the armory and barter system is too OP. You should not be able to re-kit higher than blue from the armory. Every purple and gold mod should come from looting within a map. And then in quotes, oh Viva, but you can only purchase 1 gold a day per faction, and I had to grind to get there. Well, so did everyone else, and it has turned the game into what we are seeing now, a glorified BR. At its core, Marathon needs to remain a looter extraction shooter. You should have to exfil gold and purple gear. Being able to purchase and barter for them cheapens the experience and makes interacting with at least perimeter and dire late games almost worthless. There's a lot of other things I could write out. Keys, for instance, and gear limits need to be addressed, but I think I'll save those for another post. This is an opinion I've had since the playtests when I first got to see how the game played. I gave it during every survey I filled out. The maps and zones should be the primary thing we interact with. PvP should always be there, but the loot it gives should always be secondary to what interacting with the map gives you. To what interacting with the map gives you. So again, Viva La Doctor, I thought this was well thought out, and I thought this was well what's the phrase? Is it well articulated? Yes, I just thought this was well put out, right? I just thought this was well put out, and it got some wheels turning in my head, and I was like, man, you know what? He is kind of spitting, right? He is kind of spitting when it comes to how we approach playing, because like I just mentioned, when the homies and I go to Outpost, like literally, if I'm by a master clearance key spawn, I'll go hit that real quick, and I hope that it draws the attention of the opposition, right? I use myself as bait so we can throw hands, and if we knock out one team, we know that there's going to be a second team lurking, because Outpost is a map where people enjoy to third party, because they recognize if they third party, they can take out pretty much 2 teams instead of 1, right? So again, we'll throw hands, we'll put down one team, we'll hunt for the other team based off of the POIs we've bid, and then we know it's just one team left. We don't worry too much about them. We know they're ratting somewhere or whatever. We're already yacked up, so we already know what to expect once we get into the pinwheel and once we get into the master clearance room. We know that somebody's going to be lurking around the corner. So we prepare for it accordingly, whether if we set up claymores or we leave one back to anchor to let us know when they pull up, and we clean them up, and then we finish the rest of that outpost run, right? So it's a formula, you know? Dire Marsh is a little bit more chaotic because there's so many teams on the map. Trying to wipe 5 other teams is really, really tough unless you have a team of absolute lunatics. Like you're playing with, I don't know, you're playing with Drewski and Frostbolt, which I would say 99.9% of us are not, right? So like the whole notion of clearing the map and then just PvEing until the map concludes is like, that's prevalent. That's a real deal thing, you know? And how Bungie could address this, shucks, man. I think they have done a good job with the implementation of rooks. I think rooks are nice, but they're just not threatening enough. They're just not. I know something that Arc Raiders does that I don't know if I would like in Marathon. And the more I think about it, I don't think I would like it in Marathon, is like having mid-raid spawns, you know, like having players spawn on the map at 22 minutes and 23 minutes, because if I just fought my tail off, let's say hypothetically I'm on Dire Marsh and I just fought on Dire Marsh for 15 minutes, yo, and I took out 5 squads. Now you mean to tell me that there's going to be a 6th and a 7th squad that's going to spawn in? Like I'm probably out of heals or I'm low on heals if I really fought tooth and nail to wipe the squads, and they're going to just come in and just, they're going to blow like, and after they blow on us, me and the homies fall down and now they get everything. It's like, dog, like that. Oh my gosh, I don't think I want to experience that at all. So kind of what Viva is mentioning here about making like the loot in the environment more well worthwhile, I think is definitely going to be the play, right? Because that would incentivize looting for the first 8 to 10 minutes of a run. And then sooner or later, you'll start to hear those exfills go off and people try to get off with the loot that they get. And then we could start to throw hands, right? Then we could start to really make something shake, and that's where the PvP can really show itself. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, if you don't have a key, there really isn't a big incentive. Like even the events on the maps, as I sit here and think about it, even the events aren't really all that unless you're on Outposts, right? And if you're on Outposts, when you go into the master clearance room, you'll get some purples and you'll get your singular gold item, right? That you gotta find a way to divide between you and the homies. More times than not, for me, I just give it to the homies because I'm like, you know, whatever, right? So like you have that, and then, you know, you have the command wing, which, you know, you can get maybe a purple item. You get the purple valuable item out of there, and like that's that, right? But outside of that, you're not really getting a ton of stuff other than barterware, right? Like whenever I'm in, and I keep referencing Outpost, but whenever I'm on Outpost, I'm going and I'm looking for neurochem packs. I'm looking for, reclaimed biostripping, and then whatever else I get is to the greater good. But I know for the most part, I'm going to get the good stuff off of the other teams. I'm going to get the purple shields off of the other teams. I'm going to get the purple weaponry, right? I'm going to get all that succulent loot that I'm looking for off of other players. And that forces you to lean much more on the PvP engagements. You know what I'm saying? I would much rather my PvP engagement be, I ran into a team on accident and we put them down and we get their spoils because they were looting and salvaging for 8 to 10 minutes. And even on the other end, I'm sure people that fight me and that win against me, they would much rather want to get, you know, some valuables or some cool stuff off of my body as well, right? Now, where Viva talks about thinking that only purples and golds should be extractable items, I kind of disagree with that. A bit. I would say we should still be able to barter for purples or for golds, but maybe keep it more so 1-to-1, right? So if there is, I don't know, if there's a purple bully that you can barter for, make it cost 2 or 3 biolens seeds. I don't know, right? Like make it worth the squeeze, or what's the expression? Make the juice worth the squeeze in that regard, right? Because again, it gives you more incentive to leave with that purple salvage. And look, if Bungie boosted the loot on each respective map, then you may run into more biolens seeds, which means you can trade them and you could still upgrade the respective upgrade trees with the biolens seeds, so on and so forth, right? So I don't mind the barter system how it is. It just would be nice if the purples and the golds on the map weren't so scarce and they were a bit more prevalent then that can lean into the barter system and give players another means to still get higher quality stuff, right? So I'm all for that. I'm fine with that. But again, I think it all stems from just 90% of what you loot on every respective map just isn't worth it. Like the events just at this moment in time just are not worth it. Like going to do a lockdown, like, ooh, I might get a key, I might get 1 gold with an additional purple here or there. And then with Bungie increasing the loot rarity of like self-revives and bubble shields, those items now are in the purple loot pool. So now my opportunity to get like a purple core or a purple implant or maybe even a purple shield, that's bloated a little bit because I might get a purple bubble shield or a purple self-res instead, right? So again, that's lesser incentive. Like the bubble shields still have some viability, but like, bro, I can go buy a purple self-revive for 800 credits into stock. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man, come on. So again, like Viva, I'm with you. You know, I do think the map should give us more incentive outside of the key rooms, and the events should be more live. And hey, I even believe that like you going to open up a random box, you should still have an opportunity to stumble upon something purple here or there, right? Make that more worthwhile so players have more incentive to want to get off, and players can fight more en route to wanting to go and get off of Tau Ceti, right? Versus us just hunting one another, because we hunt one another, teams are wiped, now we're just PvEing the rest of the raid. The raid finishes, the finish was anticlimactic, and it's like, you know, I would say one thing, and y'all already know, I hate comparing Marathon to Arc Raiders in any capacity, right? I just always reference Arc Raiders because it's the last other like extraction experience that I played outside of Marathon, right? But like I would say the thing, even though I can't stand it, the thing that does make Arc Raiders, like when you go to exfil, if you aren't using a hatch key, of course, right? Another convo for another day. But when you go to an exfil, the thing that can be a little bit nerve-wracking is like, man, I don't know if other teams are still on the map because people spawn in up until like 18 minutes or something like that, right? There could be somebody lurking around the corner. I just got this blueprint and I've been looking for this blueprint. You know, now I know you got the safe pockets and all that, so maybe it takes some stakes away. But again, it just feels much more, the stakes just feel a little bit higher. Like my heart beats a little bit more when I know I called that train in the subway, or I know I called that elevator to exfil to head back to Speranza on Arc Raiders. Whereas in Marathon, it's like, man, after we already beat up on the other 3 teams in Outpost, man, we cruising, man, we cruising. And we get to that exfil and it's anticlimactic. Like, oh no, it's a rook. What is that rook going to do? Man, we gonna put that rook in the headlock and we gonna noogie that fool. You know what I'm saying? Especially after the waster nerf that has now kind of been brought back to life. But again, a team of 3 of us that are coordinated, man, we ain't scared of no rook, bro. We just not. So with that all being said though, I'ma shut up. I'm gonna pass the mic to you all. Apologies for my stumbles throughout reading this. My brain is like a little bit everywhere right now, so I am stuttering more than usual. But with that all being said though, again, let me shut up. I'm gonna pass the mic to you all. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments below. I am very interested to hear what you all have to say. If I can't respond to every single comment, I apologize in advance. Do know I read every single one though. I'll heart, I'll try to comment as much as I can, but I'm starting to get a lot of comments, y'all, and I appreciate that. I love that so much. And speaking of that, I love you all. Thank you all so much for coming and watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.